We're going to be taking a look at the Tom Homan interview on ABC.
One of the very first appointments Donald Trump made after winning the election in November was tapping one man to be what he calls his border czar. Tom Homan is a former Border Patrol agent and acting director of ICE with decades of experience in Republican and Democratic administrations. I sat down with him this week and began our conversation by asking him about the role of the U.S. military.
We got military on the border.
I love how non-bullshit this guy is.
On military planes, but they're helping to build infrastructure. They're putting up concertina wire. They're down there to create a secure border and lock that border down. And DOD's helped administrations before, but not at this level. So it's a force multiplier, and it's sending a strong signal to the world. Our border's closed.
So is this what we will see every single day, ending in what the president has promised is millions and millions being deported?
Yes, but you'll see the numbers steadily increase, the number of arrests nationwide as we open up the aperture. Right now it's constant.
Oh my God. He literally said, yes, and we're just getting started. That's literally what he said. He's like, you think it's bad now? We haven't even started yet.
Public safety threats, national security threats. That's a smaller population. So we're going to do this on priority base, as President Trump's promised, but as that aperture opens, there'll be more arrests nationwide.
When you talk about the aperture opening, the estimates of perhaps those who have been convicted or arrested in the past, 700,000 to over 1 million. So after you do that, then you go after everybody who is there illegally.
I don't understand. Why is this such a point of contention? I don't understand. There are people who are criminals. By the way, if you try to stay in the country illegally, you're already a criminal by even that action. So there are a bunch of people that don't respect our laws, and we are sending those people back. And people don't want that? Like, what the fuck? I'm so confused. I don't understand.
Illegally, you're on the table. Because it's
and again, how is that fair to people that came here legally? It's not fair. They wait in line. They want to be good citizens. They want to follow the law. And we're going to let all of the illegal people skip the line? Like, dude, that's so bullshit.
Okay to, violate laws of this country. You got to remember, every time you enter this country illegally, you violated a crime under Title 8, United States Code 1325. It's a crime.
Exactly.
So if you're in the country illegally, you got a problem. And that's why I'm hoping those who are in the country illegally who have not been ordered removed by the federal judge should leave.
Well, you are emphasizing that you go after national security.
You know what we should do? This is what we should do. We should tell all of the people that are here illegally right now.
The Dems want more people in their states before the next census.
Thanks for the bits, Gabagool. Thank you. Yeah, that is a thing as well. Is like a immigrant population because inflation, because it doesn't actually count citizens, it just counts total people. And that's for things like the Electoral College and representatives. But anyway, what I was going to say, this is what they should do. If I were in charge, this is the law. This is the policy I would have, okay? Anyone that's here illegally in the country, if you get caught, you're permabanned. You're permabanned from the United States, never coming back. You're not even being let into the country ever. You're literally for life, you're banned from the United States. That's my policy. And then what I would say is, okay, there's an amnesty period. You have 6 months to leave and then we won't ban you. But if we catch you, you're fucking permabanned. That way, like, we give people a chance to actually get out on their own dime, on their own. And, okay, fine. You got out. But if we catch you and we have to catch you, we have to deport you, permabanned.
Threats. You have said no one's off the table. If you're in the country illegally, you better be looking over your shoulder. You should.
My immigrant
afraid.
Grandparents worked through the legal way of becoming United States citizens. They praised General MacArthur and taught me how to be proud as an American. I am an American first before my ethnicity.
Hell yeah.
I advocate for banning illegal immigrants even from my own country.
How is that controversial? It's not. If you want to be an immigrant and you want to be a part of America, you have to come in legally and you have to respect our laws. Bottom line, if you don't respect our laws, you don't respect us, you don't respect the country. You should just get out. It's that simple.
And start packing now. Is that what you're doing to get?
And the thing is people will use all sorts of emotional. This is the problem, and this is why I like this guy so much, because he's not emotional. people will use all sorts of emotional manipulation, like, oh, but like, they just don't have any money, and like, they want to move somewhere, like, they want to move somewhere that has more opportunity. Well, you know what? You should fix your own country. Go fix your own country. And then they'll say like, oh, you think of the children, they're crying and stuff like that. Like, the truth is, I don't really care. And I know, I know, people are going to say I sound like a bad person because I don't care. I don't care because they're breaking the law. You don't get to cry and then get your way when you're breaking the law. It doesn't work that way. That's what, when that happens to children, they become spoiled. That's what I'm saying, is that we should expect other people to respect us and respect our laws, respect our country. And if you don't, then you don't belong here.
Tell workers out, or people working on farms, that they'll be so scared they just leave?
Look, yeah,
It's always they're working on farms. They're working on farms, or they're working they're picking our crops. Like,
if you're in the country legally, it's not okay. It's not okay to violate laws of this country. We have millions of people standing in line, taking the test, doing their background investigation, paying the fees, that want to come in the right way.
Exactly.
Let's talk about the arrests so far. Numbers released the first day were over 500, and there were reports that one was a suspected terrorist, others were gang members. Were all of the people who were arrested on day one, as far as you know, convicted criminals or those who had been arrested before?
No. And let me explain that. There are collateral arrests. Where do collateral arrests happen? Sanctuary cities. And this is important we understand that. Sanctuary cities lock us out of the jails. So instead of ICE being able to arrest the bad guy, the criminal alien, in the safety and security of a jail where the officer's safe, the alien's safe, and the public's safe, sanctuary cities release them back in the community, which endangers the community, putting the criminal alien back in the community. But when we find them...
And by the way, a lot of people died from this. Like, there are multiple people who have died because of this policy.
He's going to be with others, most likely. Many times they're with others. If they're in the country legally, they're coming too.
But were these arrests all in sanctuary cities? It doesn't appear so on the first day.
The collaterals, many more. I don't have the exact breakdown, but again...
So the arrests in Massachusetts, in Chelsea, Massachusetts, which the governor said it's great to arrest the criminals
Lake and Riley,
convicted. But were there people taken there as well who were not convicted? Were they, as you say, collateral?
I'm sure they are.
You talk about these numbers expanding. 500 the first day. What do you think you can get up to?
As many as we can get.
What can happen at this point, given your manpower?
Look, I think we're in the beginning stages. We're bringing more resources into this operation. As a whole of government, we're going to have DOJ assisting us. And like the DOD piece, helping build infrastructure, helping the transportation, that takes ICE, badges and guns, out of those duties and puts them on the street.
I want to go back to who you're deporting. Aside from the long list of executive actions, the administration said it will no longer tell ICE agents they have to avoid sensitive locations, including schools, hospitals, churches. Benjamin Huffman, the acting Homeland Security Secretary, said in a statement, criminals will no longer be able to hide in America's schools and churches to avoid arrest. What criminals are hiding in schools?
Look,
middle schools, elementary schools. You going to go into those?
How many MS-13 members are the age of 14 to 17? Many of them. So, look, if it's a national security threat, public safety threat, and what you need to understand is a case by case. Name another agency, another law enforcement agency that has those type of requirements that they can't walk into a school or a doctor's office or on a medical campus. No other agencies held to those standards. These are well-trained officers with a lot of discretion. And when it comes to sensitive location, there's still going to be supervisory review. So it's not like it's an open issue. But ICE officers should have discretion to decide if a national security threat or a public safety threat's in one of these facilities, then there should be an option for them to make the arrest.
But someday you could go into those schools and grab people who are just in the country illegally.
On a case.
Yeah. Why is it? What is the difference? What is the fucking difference?
Case by case basis, depending on who they are, what the circumstances.
They're still they're illegal. They're just hiding in the school.
It's never a zero game.
You know that this creates fear in the immigrant community. The chair
Literally
of the U.S.
don't
Conference
care.
of Bishops Committee said,
If you're not illegal, you you have nothing to fear. Literally nothing to fear. The only people who are fearful are the people who are doing something illegally.
Places of care, healing, and solace into places of fear and uncertainty for those in need, while endangering the trust between pastors, providers, educators, and the people they serve, will not make our communities safer.
Well, look, here's I think. If Congress has a job to do, we're enforcing the laws Congress enacted and the president signed. If they don't like it, change the law. I find it hard to believe any member of Congress is telling us not to enforce the law that they enacted and they fund us to do.
But opening up to anyone who's in the country illegally and going into schools and grabbing them, does that, kids, adults?
The message needs to be clear. There's consequences for entering a country illegally.
Yes.
If we don't show there's consequences, you're never going to fix the border problem.
Exactly, because it's the same thing where you have like a kid and you never discipline the kid. They're just going to keep doing it over and over again. It's the same thing. People are like that on every level. People react to consequences, and if there's no consequences, then they won't change. They won't change anything.
11 million undocumented immigrants in this country right now. How can you possibly afford to deport all of those people?
Well, I'll leave it up to Congress. You know, I think Congress, the president has a mandate. This is the #1 issue that people voted on. I think Congress has a mandate to give us money we need. What price you put on national security?
More detention centers?
What price you put on? What price you put on all these young ladies have been raped and murdered and burned alive? What price you put on that? What price you put on Laken Riley's life? What price you put on national security? Like I just explained, when you have a surge like this, we don't secure that border. That's when national security threats enter the country. That's when sex trafficking goes up. That's when the fentanyl comes in that kills a quarter million.
God, I love this guy.
I don't put a price on that.
And on those detention centers, do you need more beds? I think there's
Absolutely.
41,000 now, 100,000. So where do you get those beds? Do you build more camps? Do you do this military installations in Texas and elsewhere?
A little bit of everything. We can build Southside facilities. We can expand our contracts to outside contractors. So yeah, we're going to need more ICE beds, a minimum of 100,000. Congress needs to come to the table quick and give us the money we need to secure that border.
Let's talk about those flights again. With the host countries, you flew all of those people back. Were all of the people arrested on the first day, for instance, repatriated? And what about those countries that won't take them back?
Oh, they'll take them back.
What do you mean?
We got President Trump coming to power. President Trump puts America first. Mexico didn't want to remain in Mexico.
This literally just happened. This literally just happened.
Under first administration, they did it. They didn't want to put military in the southern border. They did it.
How do you convince them?
El Salvador didn't want to take MS-13 members back. It took President Trump 48 hours to make that happen. President Trump's going to put America first. And if it doesn't, then we'll place my third safe country.
All appointments through the CBP app have been canceled. That is a legal way to claim asylum and get in the country. So what should people do who are seeking asylum? How do you do it?
Go to the embassy, go to port of entry.
Yep.
Do it the legal way. You shouldn't come to this country.
Like most organized crime orgs, the cartels take in kids because they can be groomed easily to kill, torture, sell drugs, traffic people, etc. So many kids are a part of cartels, many of whom have already killed someone, often some random innocent stranger. It's the first kill T.
That is the point of no return for most of these kids. It's really sad. Yeah, it is. Thanks for the bits, Shago. Yeah. I mean, the thing is like, you can't encourage like this kind of behavior. You just can't.
Let's break our law.
Because you'll get more of it. That's how you get more.
Tell me what the definition of success is over the next 6 months, over the next year, by the end of the administration. What is mission accomplished here?
Taking as many public safety threats off the street as possible. Watching illegal alien crime in the United States decrease. Ending it. Deporting every illegal alien gang member in this country, including Iowa and MS-13. Making our country safe. When we see the crime rate from illegal aliens go down, that's a success. Every public safety threat we remove from this country, a success. Every national security threat that we find removed from country, success.
I love that he just answers it straight.
So my success can be
every
based on
question.
Congress. Give us more money,
no bullshit.
the better we're going to do.
I notice you didn't put in that list of things that will be mission accomplished and success, getting every immigrant who is in the country illegally out. Why not?
Because I'm being realistic. We can do what we can with the money we have. We're going to try to be efficient, but with the more money we have, the more we can accomplish. If I don't have the money to remove that millions of people, I'm not going to sit here and... One thing, no one can say I haven't been frank in everything I've said. Our success every day is taking a public safety threat off the streets or getting a national security threat out of here.
And our thanks to Tom
Yeah.
Homan.
That was great. I really like how straightforward he is about stuff. He just tells it how it is, and he's like, we just need to do it. That's just how it is. And again, I talked about this before. Like, I don't even have like a crazy, like, I have friends that have like a more hardcore stance on immigration than I do. Like, I think that immigration should be legal. They should do it legally. Now, if they wanted to restrict immigration for, you know, maybe a year or so, I think I get behind that too, because there's just so much going on right now. Kind of, we need to really get control of our borders before we can even begin to try to let more people in. Again, if people are going to be a benefit to America and they're going to actually assimilate into our culture, then I would be fine with people joining, of course, at like a rate that at a reasonable rate. Again, if you come in illegally, it's just a no-brainer that you should just not be allowed to join. I think so.